Man, this is gonna get weird after this game. I'm so used to playing as Ezio now that I'm sad to let him go. However, they did give him a proper send-off, so I can't be too upset. Well, before I say anything else that could jeopardize my video structure, let's get moving. So, Ezio's been traveling the world since our last adventure with him, in an attempt to finish the research done by his father to find Altair's library. In his endeavors, Ezio goes to Maziof, although it isn't the assassin homeland that it used to be, and as soon as he comes into sight of the castle, he's shot by the Templar forces that dwell here. But Ezio isn't going down without a fight. He takes down as many of the Templars as he can until he's surrounded. They capture him so they can execute him, rather than have him bleed out in the snow, but of course Ezio isn't going to go out like that, and he escapes. He finds that the Templars have found the entrance to the library and found one of the 5 keys that they need in order to open it. So, Ezio, in proper fashion, hunts down the leader of the local Templars to interrogate him about where they found the key. And the Templar gives him Altair's journal, which leads him to Constantinople. On the boat ride to the city, he meets 2 people. Sophia, who ends up being Ezio's love interest, as revealed in a letter that he sends to his sister, and a boy who calls himself a scholar, but is actually Prince Suleiman, whose uncle and father are currently at war to become the next king. As Ezio steps off the boat, he meets Yusuf, the leader of the assassins in the city. Throughout the game, Ezio enlists the help of Sophia to help locate and translate the books that were hidden by Niccolo Polo, the father of Marco Polo, which in turn lead him to the other keys that he is looking for. Ezio also enlists the help of Prince Suleiman to find and destroy the Templar influence in Constantinople. By the end of the game, it's revealed that Suleiman's uncle, Prince Ahmet, has been swayed by the Templars' beliefs and demands that Ezio give him the keys to the library. When Ezio refuses, he kidnaps and tries to kill Sophia, and in the process of capturing her, kills Yusuf. Ezio saves Sophia, and they pursue after Ahmet, leading to an interesting section of the game where you are flying behind a carriage throwing corpses at soldiers in order to knock them down. When Ezio finally catches up to Ahmet, the two brawl and end up near a cliffside when more soldiers appear, seeming to outnumber Ezio. But they don't attack Ezio. Rather, the newly crowned King Selim, Ahmet's brother, comes to Ezio's aid and throws Ahmet off the cliff. He tells Ezio that if it hadn't been for his son talking so highly of him, that he too would have been killed on the spot, and tells him to leave the city and never come back. Wait, no, Ezio, stop! Ezio and Sophia go back to Maziof, which somehow doesn't have more Templars crawling around, and gain access to the library. Inside the library, there are no books, no wisdom. Rather, it was designed as a tomb for Altair's final resting place, and the resting place of the Apple of Eden he carried. Ezio almost grabs the apple, but decides to leave it there along with his life as an assassin. Though, in this moment he realizes that he was a catalyst for a message for Desmond, a name he heard at the end of his adventure back in Assassin's Creed 2, and leaves his own message for him, bringing his story to a close. There are actually a few new things in this game relating to the parkour. The first thing is the hook blade, which works in a variety of ways. For the most part, it's a hook that can aid in climbing and allowing you to launch yourself upwards, as well as attach to ledges so you don't fall. Another use of it is to use it on our next new thing, the zip lines. Using the hook blade, you can easily slide down the zip lines, and even use it to get a zipline kill if you're so inclined. So, combat. Let's talk about the uses the hook blade has in combat. It'll either allow you to vault over an enemy to make a quick escape, or allow you to steal their wallet after they've attacked you. The most notable thing that's been added, however, is the bomb crafting system, with all sorts of effects, from poison bombs to caltrops, and heck, even your normal smoke bombs. You truly can make bombs for any occasion. So, the den defense was a weird thing this game brought in, being a sort of tower defense game that you play in order to keep your dens from falling under Templar control. I only did the bare minimum of these, as they're long and tedious, but you do have to complete 3 of these for the Assassin Guild challenges to get Altair's sword. Desmond's memories are a bit weird to play through, as you can't run and are stuck in a sort of first-person platformer, with nothing but a basic walk speed, a jump, and eventually the ability to spawn blocks to walk on to help you get through levels. But past that, all it does is give some backstory to how Desmond got captured by the Templars. And finally, we have the DLC. This plays much like Desmond's memories, but they're quite a bit more of a pain to get the trophies on, with having to do an entire mission without failing, or crossing the river Styx with some unreliable placement of blocks to save you from falling and failing to get the trophy. This gives backstory into Subject 16, and how it's actually good that Desmond stabbed a lady in the last game, as she was a spy. Yeah, Desmond has a storyline, and no, I won't cover it as there's nothing to say about the gameplay to him. And although I may understand his story up to this point, I'm absolute garbage at explaining things. So after everything is said and done, how does this game fare? I actually remember playing a few hours of this back when I would go to my friend's house for a sleepover. So I was super nostalgic about the hook blade and how much more mobility it gives you. But without letting nostalgia cloud my decision, I would still give the game an 8 out of 10, as I really do love the way they tie up Ezio's story and give him the happy ending he's been looking for over 40 years.